Welcome to the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Baseball family, welcome to this Sunday edition of the Baseball Together podcast. Today, of course, as you would expect, I'm joined by Brig. Welcome, Brig. How are you on your vacation?
I'm good. Yeah, well, I'm still here.
Good. Yep.
It's good, though.
Still are?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it some time. Are you doing homework while you're there? Are you working on school stuff? Or
Of course.
Did you leave that home?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I should have
No,
left
no,
it
no.
home.
No, I can't. I can't.
It's because you don't do enough of it at home that you have to bring it with you.
It's because did you say I don't do enough of it at home?
Yeah. If you had done more at home, you wouldn't have had to bring it with you.
Wow. Shots fired, baseball family.
I know how your schedule goes, Brig. Also, I'm familiar myself, so I get it.
Yeah. Also, you try to do 2 9-year-olds and a Rottweiler and be in school at the same time, okay? I don't want to hear it.
Right.
So, you know what? I'm actually getting more done in the days I'm here without that. Like, it has nothing to do with being at home or on vacation.
Dude, I had, for my last semester in school, I had 2 under 3. And that was...
Yeah.
My wife is a saint because... she dealt with most of that, not me. So I'm glad that
she's a saint anyway.
Anyway,
let's be honest.
She is. You're right.
You're
right.
Saint.
You're right.
We are lucky. That is for sure.
Yep, absolutely. Well, baseball family, before we get into Contenders or Pretenders, we want to remind you about Chinook's Eatery. Head to Chinook'sEatery.com to get the best seeds ever, not just our word. It's on the package, so you know it's real. But when you do that, use code BTPOD at checkout to save 10% off your order. If you're not sure what flavor you want to get, if you want to get Brig's favorite with Parm and Pep, or my favorite this week, Jalapeno Ranch, then you can get the sample pack, and that's a smoking deal. It comes with like everything in there, and get 10% off. So there you go. Go check them out if you have not already. BTPod at checkout at Chinook'sEatery.com. All right. Contenders or Pretenders, what we're going to do is we're going to go through these standings and we're going to talk about teams that look like they are in the race for either the wild card or their division. And we're going to decide whether they're contenders or pretenders. If we decide they're contenders, what are they actually contending for, Rick? Are they World Series contenders, division contenders, wild card contenders? Okay. So, as always, we start in the American League East. So, here we go. On top of the American League East. By the way, this is previously recorded. The date is Monday, August the 4th. So these numbers will change along the way. Standings could change as well. Toronto Blue Jays on top of the American League East. As of today, they are 65-48. 4-6 in their last 10. The number they have a plus 16 run differential. The number I like, though, is record against teams over 500. They're 36-27. That's a heck of a number. Are the Blue Jays, in your opinion, Brig, contenders or pretenders?
They are contenders. I think it's an irrefutable fact at this point that they are headed to the playoffs. And then we'll see what happens. I don't think they were able to keep up their historic run. They were just playing atmospheric level baseball, and now they're starting to maybe come back down a little bit, which is good, but they won't bottom. They're going to stabilize at a decent, I don't even know what it will be, but it will be positive for them. So they're definitely contenders. Plus, without making huge aggressive moves at the deadline, I think that what they put together was beneficial, and we're going to see that the holes they did work to address are going to be sufficient, even though it wasn't like massive.
Do you think they're World Series contenders, or how far do you think they can go?
No, I don't. I don't know if they'll make it through the division series or the championship series, but they're either they're going to get a bye or they're going to blow through the wild card. I don't know which it's going to be, but they're headed to the division series no matter what.
Okay, and that's what I think too. I think they're contenders, definitely. You cannot have that stretch, and then, I mean, I guess we can't. I guess you can because the Twins did. But against the teams that the Blue Jays did have their stretch
Not
against,
this late.
Like that 36-27 is really, really, really good. that's awesome. And when it comes time for playoffs, when it's winning time, as they say, that's what you want right there. So
Yeah.
I like that, but I do think that they're going to run out of gas to some degree, and they're going to struggle when it comes deep in the playoffs, but I think they're a division round team for sure. Boston
Yep.
Red Sox playing really well right now. They're 62-51 in second place. They're 3 games back of the Blue Jays, 2 games up in the wild card, and they are 8-2 in their last 10 plus 78 run differential. That's a good number. 30-32 against teams over 500. That is a less desirable number. Contenders
Yep.
or pretenders, Brig?
Contenders. Here's your wild card option right now. This is one of your, for me right now, this is one of the teams that's going to make it into the wild card conversation. They could fall off and fall short of the wild card. It depends. It's also going to depend on other teams. So their fate is not entirely in their hands right now, as we say, and you'll hear that more as we go along, baseball family, get closer to the playoffs. But right now, I feel like they are, they addition by subtraction with Devers. We keep saying that, but it keeps proving to be true. I think that they could have done more at the deadline to bolster. But again, I think they're having more fun. So I think their fun differential is a big deal. And I think that is carrying some of the water in Boston right now. So I think they're contenders. I'm not sure how deep. They could blow my expectations way out of the water and make it all, run it all the way down like you thought they would, right?
Yeah,
Even as
I
late as a
think I
couple
still
weeks
have them in
ago.
the World
So
Series.
yeah, and they could. I just think, I don't know, based on what I saw at the deadline, I just don't see them advancing even beyond the division round. But I could be wrong.
Okay, and I get that. I think what it is with them is they've got I think they're figuring things out. They're playing well when they need to. Is this sustainable? I don't know. Right? Like I liked them in the World Series. I liked them going deep in the playoffs because of a lot of the pieces they had. Like you said, addition by subtraction by Rafael Devers continues to be accurate. You've still got Trevor Story, who, when he's playing well, he's as good as just about anybody in the league. You got Alex
Yeah.
Bregman, who is as great of a leader in the clubhouse as anybody in the league, and when he's playing well, is right up there, right? And Fenway plays right to his hitting style. So
Perfectly.
things could
Yeah.
go really well for these guys in the playoffs, or the youth could catch up to them. A lot of these guys could hit the rookie wall. They could crumble under pressure when they're facing outstanding pitching late in the season or in the playoffs and could fall apart. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. But I think they have the leadership. I think they have the pieces. This could be really good. I mean, I'd say certainly contenders. I'm going to put them up there with at least ALCS contenders.
Okay. That's fair.
The New York Yankees, 60-52, 4-6 in their last 10, lost 3 in a row. Plus 92 run differential. I feel like that's very early season heavy. If that, correct me if I'm wrong there, Brig. 35-35 against teams
wrong.
over 500.
Oh. Okay.
Went from first to third in a matter of, what, a week?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Let me adjust my cap here, and say with every ounce of honesty I can come up with, that if the team we've seen since the break is the team we're going to see through the remainder of the season, then this is nothing but pretend. Nothing. I am disgusted. I think they had a killer deadline. I think they put in as many pieces almost as you could hope to have added. We could have done with a starter, obviously, that's fine. But the guys they brought in should carry them all the way as deep into the playoffs as they want to go. But something is wrong. It is really, really bad. And we don't even know what to call it right now. I don't think they know what to call it right now. Part of it is mental mistakes. Part of it is anemic offense. Part of it is starting pitching that can't go past 3 innings, 3 1/3. No matter what, you can look at every single aspect of the Yankees game right now, and it is all riddled with criticism, and they're justifiable points of criticism. So, can you fix this much in the little time we have left? I don't know. I'm worried.
So I think I'm going to say they're contenders, but let me help you out here for just a minute, Brick. I'm going to talk you off the ledge. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going back. I'm
I'm
on
doing the
Baseball
Yankees
Reference right
fan
now.
thing.
Right now, right now I'm in 2022.
Okay.
2022 July record 13-13. August 10-18. Okay.
Okay.
They went to the ALCS that year.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the sake of time, I'm only going to go back to 2022. 2023.
That's fine.
June record 11-12. July 10-15. August 10-18. They missed the playoffs in 2023.
Yeah, they didn't even make it to
2024.
playoffs. Yeah. Went to the World Series.
2024. June 14-13. July 11-13. August 14-12. June and July, those winning records, but not great especially for a team that went to the World Series.
Yeah.
September was 15-11. That's doesn't seem like a World Series team to me. But the thing
I
that
agree.
matters is if you have these bad games in July and August, but you're a legitimate contender,
Mm-hmm.
then you can figure it out now. You don't want to have these games in September where like we got to hurry up
I agree.
and figure this out, right?
I agree with you. And here, let me caveat and remind you
real
of
quick,
what I said when I started
this year.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, go. Well, as I said, this year, June 13-14, July 12-13, 0-3 so far in August. Okay,
Right.
so it's not great, but there's kind of precedent for this with this team that they kind of.
You're not wrong.
I don't know if they get bored, if they run out of gas, or what. But you hit the doldrums of the summer, you hit the dog days, and they don't do well.
Dog days. No, they don't. Okay, here's what I said when I started my explanation. I said that these guys are pretending if what we've had for the last handful of weeks since the break is what we will continue to have, then it's all over. But if they can find a way to turn it around and get these pieces working together, then then they're contenders and they can go all the way to the ALCS and maybe beyond. But they have,
I still think
especially with the pieces. Especially with the pieces they brought in. But whatever needs to happen to wake up their brains, maybe they all need Adderall. I don't know. But something is wrong and they've got to fix it.
Fix it. Yeah, you're right. I think that they will because there's a precedent for that. It's been established over the last several years, and I think that they'll fix it, and I think they'll be fine. I think because right now they're half a game up in the wild card.
Pardon me if I think Rome is burning. Okay.
Well, I know you always feel like Rome is burning. At least you smell smoke at the very least. As a Yankee fan.
It's not smoke I smell; it's toast, and my arm hurts.
I'll be alarmed when you start talking gibberish. All right. Let's move on to the AL Central. There is one team here and one team only, and it's the Detroit Tigers. I just am curious with them. They're absolutely contenders. They've had a rough go over the last little bit, like since right before the All-Star break, but they're still 32-31 against teams over 500, still plus 80 run differential. They're up 3 games in the division, but Cleveland's not going to make a run at them. Let's be honest. They're missing half their pitching staff. The Royals are 56-56. They're 8.5 back, 3.5 back in the wild card. They're not going to do anything. How far can the Tigers go? Are they World Series contenders still? Are they ALCS? Are they division? How far do you think this team can go?
Yeah, I think that they have what it takes to go all the way. I still think that. I've thought that the whole time, or nearly the whole time. They could have done a little bit more at the deadline, and I'm a little bit worried that if they don't, I was worried that if they didn't push a little harder at the deadline, then they might not be able to entice, or they might not go deep enough in the playoffs to entice Skubal to stick around after he hits free agency in 2027, to start 2027. So does that mean they don't have a chance to do it again next year? I don't know. A bunch of things are up in the air. And Charlie Morton is a great addition, but I don't know. Is that enough? I don't know. So are they ALCS contenders? 100%. I think it would be a mistake to count them as anything less than an ALCS contending team.
I think you're right. And mostly just because the AL is so wide open. There's not one team that I look at and be like, that's the team, right? I feel like that's part of the reason I can justify Boston is because like
Mm-hmm.
they're playing well. If they continue to be hot, they can ride a wave. Anybody can ride a wave to the ALCS at the very least. The
Here's
thing that
the
I
thing
worry
I
about
want
with
to
the
say, though.
Tigers. Oh, go
Okay,
ahead.
go ahead. No, I was going to say that Detroit's run differential, I feel like, is more consistent, certainly like than the Yankees' run differential, which you pointed out was early season heavy, right? Other
Mhm.
than the Yankees and this Red Sox late surge that we've seen from them on the offensive output, the Tigers have the best run differential in the entire American League. And I don't think that that's a fluke. I don't think that that's weighted more
Right.
heavily one side of the break or the other. So that's a huge deal.
You're right. So I was gonna say my only concern with the Tigers is there were other teams that got more better than they did. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
It sounds weird, but like
No.
I feel like Toronto got more better. New York certainly got more better if those guys show up the way they're supposed to, you would expect. But New York
Yeah.
the city is a different animal than other places, and it does things to guys that are not expected. It's not something that you can account for. In Seattle, you can be like, okay, this guy hits really well other places like even Cleveland, Detroit, but when he comes to Seattle where you got the marine layer and fly balls die, is he going to hit as well?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be like, okay, this guy pitched really well in Cincinnati, but then he comes to New York and he's a mess because he can't handle the fans. You don't. That's not something you can
Sonny
account for.
Gray. Right.
You knew, but he's not the only one though. It happens.
No,
It happens. Still.
No, he is
And
not.
so,
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
but that's my concern with the Tigers. Is before the deadline, before the break even, they were my clear runaway favorite. Like this team is the AL pennant winner, and you can book it. But then other teams got more better than they did at the deadline because I like Charlie Morton, but I don't love him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And there were holes that needed to be filled in Detroit that didn't get filled. And so I'm like, oh, we'll see. We'll see now. It's still wide open. So that
Yep.
said, I think that it's the Tigers against somebody else in the ALCS.
I
Okay.
agree. And
AL
it's going to be
West.
the Mariners.
Ooh. Ooh. Don't you play with me like that, Brig.
That's how I feel. That's if you if I had to decide right now, that's what I would say. We'll talk.
You'd say Tigers and Mariners? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of Mariners, let's go to the AL West. Sitting on top of the
Okay.
division right now, you've got the Houston Astros, 62-50. They're 2-8 in their last 10, and as we mentioned earlier in Tuesday's episode, they're 2-10 in their last 12. Lost 3 in a row, plus 39 run differential, 33-29 against teams over 500. Contenders or pretenders here, Brig?
You have to consider them contenders. You have to.
You have to.
That's it. I don't think it gets more complicated than that. And I don't think you have to justify it more than that. I think that the one, like the Carlos Correa thing, like it's nifty. You know, is it going to be the greatest thing ever? I don't know. Probably not. Is it going to change everything for them and the fabric of the team will all of a sudden like kick into high gear? No. They still need to wait for a couple of guys to come back onto the roster. And once that happens, we'll have answers. But when that happens remains to be seen. And I don't know. Are they division series capable? 100%. Are they championship series capable? Maybe. Scary, but
And
not a
that's
guarantee.
right. And I feel like they're finally coming back, finally taking a step back. And like I said, I think I agree with you. I don't think that you can ever call the Astros pretenders. They're absolutely going to be contenders because of who they have. Altuve, I think we said before, like he seems to be the lone common denominator in all of these runs and all the success that the Astros have had, and he is still there. They brought back Carlos Correa. That's a dangerous piece to add for anybody. Okay, I
Yeah.
don't care that he's having a down year by his standards. Having him in that clubhouse, having him in there to help to fire up guys with Altuve, this team they're gonna want to run through walls for those guys. I can guarantee it. Whether they're able
Yeah.
to, I don't know. But I'm gonna say that their ceiling right now, the way they're playing, is division series. Maybe.
Same.
The way they're playing right now, they could get bounced in the wild card round because that's where they're going to be starting.
Yeah. But I think they have what it takes to make it to the division series, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Okay,
Yep.
the Seattle Mariners, 60-53, only 2.5 back in the West, Brig. After a good weekend. 5-5 in the last 10.
Yeah.
That's frustrating because those pesky A's. Plus 22 run differential, 40 and 32 against teams over 500. Here's a little nugget that most people probably wouldn't have in their back pocket, but I do because I'm a Mariners fan. Do you know, Brig, that the Mariners have beat all of the top pitchers, or not all of them, but I guess you could say all the top pitchers across the league they faced this year?
No.
Did you know this? Let me find it real quick because there is a list of all the guys that they've beaten. Let's see. We had Skubal twice, Paul Skeens, Garrett Crochet, Jacob Mizrowski, Hunter Brown, Nathan Eovaldi twice, Max Fried, Casey Mize, and Jacob deGrom twice.
Whoa.
They've beaten all those guys this year. Who, by the way, are the guys that you see in the playoffs, which is wild that they that they hit better against those guys than anybody. And they not necessarily gave those guys an L, but they beat the team on the days that those guys were on the mound. Which means that if they beat the bullpen, they ran them early enough to do damage against the bullpen. On Sunday, they put up 5 on deGrom. 3 home runs. So I like the way this offense is clicking right now. You said you had them in the ALCS. I feel like a homer saying it, Brig, but with the additions that they made at the deadline, this could be the year, Brig. And I'm not saying World Series champs. It could be the year that they finally get there, though. Finally get that AL pennant.
Yep, and here's the thing for Seattle, that even before these trade deadline acquisitions with Naylor and Suarez, and I know Naylor was there a couple days longer than Suarez, so some of this is probably benefiting, and I haven't broken it down on the game log, but they're 40 and 32 when they play teams over 500. And that is better than anyone in their division. That's better than anyone in the Central, and that's better than all of the teams in the East. So when it comes to playing good teams, they show up. That's just another way of looking at what you just said.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about. It's the pesky A's, the pesky Angels that are keeping them down right now.
That's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about
wild,
it.
Though.
Honestly,
it's wild.
We need more time from Naylor and Suarez and some of these others. Then this will all start to even out. It's going to be great, dude. And I hope they pace themselves. I hope Cal Raleigh continues to go. God, talk about Cal Raleigh right now. I mean, he's so fun to watch. But yeah, I think that I have the Mariners at this moment. Yeah. Doesn't matter. 42? Like, come on. That's a lot, dude. I have the Mariners in the CS right now, and I don't think it's even hard to justify.
Well, I hope you're right. I really do. I hope they don't run out of gas, because that would be really upsetting for a magical season that it's been so far for Cal Raleigh. Plus, selling out and going for broke at the deadline, the front office has not done that in a very long time, if ever. Jerry DiPoto said this is the best team he's ever put together, and I think he's right.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever done it like this.
Okay, last team in the AL West, the Texas Rangers are 58 and 55, 4.5 back in the division, 2 back in the wild card, 5 and 5 in their last 10, 66 run differential, 22 and 35 against teams over 500. That's a bad number. That's really bad. Contenders or pretenders, Brig?
I still think they are. The only reason they're in any level of contention right now is because they're on a good run, and because there's so much room for them to splash around in the American League within the wild card conversation. If it weren't for how open everything is, then I don't think this team has what it takes. But the fact that it just anybody's game right now. Because look, tomorrow they're 4 games out of touch with Boston, who's 2 games up in the wild card. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the Yankees keep playing the way they're playing, and the Rangers will slide right into that 3rd wild card slot. So who knows? I have no idea. But it's not all about how good the Rangers are right now. It's also about how bad the other teams might end up being and at what key points. And it's all math, and it's all bad for you. And I don't know.
This is my thing. I think you hit it with how bad the other teams around them are playing. Cleveland, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, they're not going to catch them. Right? So they're
Nope.
safe from all the teams below them. But
Yep.
can they catch the teams above them? They're done playing Seattle the rest of the year. They're 3-10 against Seattle this year. They're done playing them. So they don't have to worry about that anymore. But then you've got to catch 2.5 games on the Yankees, 4 games on the Red Sox. Everybody's gettable at this point, but
Yeah.
I think, like I said before, I think the Yankees will write things. I think the Red Sox are playing really well right now, and Seattle has a pretty favorable stretch coming up. So I think the Rangers are gonna miss out by just a couple of games. Contenders for a wild card, but that is it. And if they were to make it, I think that would be the end of their road right there. I don't think they have what it takes to go beyond the wild card. Okay.
I can see it.
Let's move over to the NL. NL East, you got the Phillies, 63-48, 5-5 in their last 10, 68 run differential, 33-29 against teams over 500. Contenders or pretenders?
Contenders. 100% contenders. I'm so high on the Phils right now. Like, I just think that what they did at the deadline was exactly what you needed to do at the deadline. They finally have a legit closer. He's incredible. They are paying him all of the love. They're giving him all of the love. The stadium has this like magical walkout thing they're doing for him that gets everybody hyped. It gets him hyped. He has been welcomed with open arms, and he has delivered on that so far. I'm telling you right now, watch out. The Phillies, they got way better at the deadline.
They did.
Way better.
They did. And honestly, I was going to say everything you just said about needing a closer and getting a closer. Like that's the difference right there.
That's it.
I think it's fantastic. I think they could go the distance. I think they could go to the World Series. I'm going to put them as World Series contenders because I like them. I'm in love with this team. The Mets, who also got better at the deadline, 63-49. Half a game back of the Phils, 1 game up on the wild card, 5-5 in their last 10, plus 40 run differential, 31-24 against teams over 500. Contenders, I'm going to say just assume contenders. How far do you think the Mets can go?
Yeah, they're capable of the NLCS. At least it wouldn't be surprising if we saw them in the World Series at this point, especially with how good they got at the deadline. Like Cedric Mullins, come on now. Like, that's the best choice
I love that move.
they could have ever made. I love it as well. So they also hooked up their bullpen with some real solid pieces. They're now scary in every quadrant of the game, I guess, and it's going to be, they're tough.
Yep.
The rest of the National League needs the Phillies to beat the Mets. Otherwise, everybody's in trouble.
You're probably right. You're probably right about that. That it comes down to 3 teams in the National League. 4. We'll get there. All right, let's move to the Central because this is one of the other teams that I keep forgetting about because maybe the NL is like where it's at, right? Because you've got the Brewers 67-44. That's the best record in baseball, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Right there. The Brewers, the team that I didn't see this coming. I should have, but I didn't. 7-3 in their last 10, plus 119 run differential. That's the best in the bigs. They passed the Cubs. And they're 36-25 against teams over 500. So they're beating everybody. They beating everybody, Brig.
Yep.
How far do you think they can go?
They are also World Series contending team as it looks right now. But I do think they're gettable. But I don't think it'll come until the division or the championship series. And I think it'll be interesting. I'd have to look at game splits to see who they've played that they will then play in the playoffs at either of those levels of the playoffs. We need to see that. I don't know. I think I would like to see those matchups maybe again since the deadline. Did they have the greatest deadline? No, they did not. But did they need to fill too many holes? No, they did not. So, I don't know. I think that anybody who's discounting the Brewers right now, fools. Anybody who has been, like me, I apologize. That was foolish. I didn't know.
So I think you're right with the way they're playing right now. This is a World Series contending team. I absolutely agree with you. But the problem is we've seen the floor of this team, and it's very, very low.
It is.
That team could potentially show up in the playoffs, and they could get swept in the division series if that's the case. So It depends on which team shows up. If they continue to ride this momentum, then yeah, they're great. But if they fall off at all in September, I will completely write them off in the first round.
I agree. And I think that
to me, this is the most volatile team in the National League right now.
Yep, I think other teams are more consistently better. So if this is the Brewers 100%, right? But they're, like you said, their 20% is also always available. You get a team like the Phillies who never play below 40%, but also sometimes will hit that 100%, right? That their window of consistency is narrower and more stable than it is with the Brewers.
Yep. Absolutely.
Even though it's not as good on paper.
Oh. Right. Okay, let's talk about the Cubs, 65-46, 2 games back of the Brewers, plus 3.5 in the wild card. They've at least got that locked up, I feel like. I don't think they're going to drop 3.5. Plus 115 run differential and 36-33 against teams over 500. That's pretty good. How far do you think this team can go? They're obvious contenders.
They're obvious contenders. It would take, for me right now, looking at them, it would be a fluke if they bounced out at the division series. I think they have every right to be in the NLCS conversation. I think they have what it takes to contend for the NLCS. I don't know if it goes beyond that. I don't know, but that's.
I think that their pitching is going to catch up to them in the playoffs, and offensively they could get to the NLCS, but I think the pitching is going to be a problem. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they got bounced in the division. That's 3 bad games, right? Before you have 3 good games.
That's true.
And with the lack of pitching on that team, I think you could be in trouble when things cool down a little bit. So, and I know we saw balls flying out of Cold Wrigley in April, but that would be my concern. Okay, I'm going to go with the Reds. I'm going to go with the Reds, 58 and 54, 9.5 back in the division. That's out, most likely, unless everything falls apart for those two. 4 back in the wild card, but they're the next team. They're the first team out in the wild card right now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, plus 42 run differential, 31-34 against teams over 500. Do you think the Reds can close the gap? Are they wild card contenders? Or are they pretending?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think it's pretend. I think they're playing spoiler. I think they're having lots of fun, and I think good for them, but I don't see it.
I'm going to agree with you. As much as I love Tito Francona, and we talked about this at the beginning of the season. We love the pieces that they have. We love that Terry Francona is there, right? We love everything about this team. We just don't think that they have what it takes to get over the hump. 4 games is not that many, but they've got to catch the Padres, Cubs, or Mets. And I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Yeah. Yep, I agree. All right, NL West. Dodgers are 65-47. They are 6-4 in their last 10. Seems like they're riding the ship. 35-31 against teams over 500. Is this still the World Series juggernaut that we thought that it was when the season started?
No, I don't think so. But I don't think they're going to just dry up and blow away.
Yeah. Do you think that come the playoffs they'll shift things into another gear and go, or do you think it's going to be too hard for this team that's been depleted?
I think it depends on when certain guys can come back or hit their stride after having come back. And I know that's really a wishy-washy answer. I think it's hard, based on what happened last year, it's really hard for me to say, nah, I'm discounting them all the way. But I can see them bouncing out of the division series round, and I can see them making it through to the World Series. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. That's the problem.
To me, it depends on who this year's Padres are against them. They were like 3 outs away from being eliminated last year in the division round.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
that's not wrong.
Things could have gone totally differently last year if the Padres had just locked it down for a couple more outs. Right?
Yeah.
So if there's a team that they run into in the playoffs that plays them that tough, whether it's the Mets, whether it's the Phillies, the Brewers, the Cubs, I don't know. If they run into a team like that, then I think there's going to be one team that's their roadblock. If they get through it, they're going to the World Series.
Yeah. And let me tell you,
And I think it'll be the division round again.
I do too. And the thing I can see about, or the thing I want to point out, is that they have so much veteran leadership on that team that they do know how to find that other gear. And maybe we just don't have it yet because it's not time, right? Maybe they're just like, nah, we're doing our thing. We're coming to work every day. But I promise you, when you get a guy like Freddie Freeman into the postseason, and he's not the only one, but those guys show up differently, and that's going to be scary. So I can see them getting bounced in the division series, but like you, they might go all the way. Again, I just don't know.
Right. Yeah.
It's upsetting.
And one thing, so they're the number 2 seed right now. They're back from the Brewers by like a game and a half. I could see them closing that gap in September and taking over the number 1 seed and having home field all the way through. So, but I could also see them dropping down and end up being the 3rd team if things go poorly again in September the way they did in July for a while.
For sure.
So they're kind of an enigma right now, which is weird. However, they're a high-end enigma. Like for governors and athletes. Let me know if you got that joke, baseball family. Drop
No, I got it. But
okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, them.
Anyway, all right. Last team, Padres, 62-50, 3 games back of the Dodgers right now. They are holding the line in the wild card. Plus 36 run differential, 31-33 against teams over 500. Though that's a concerning number for me. They feel like playoff contenders, but how deep do you think they'll go? Like they went all in at the deadline. Got everybody, sold the farm.
I love it.
What do you think?
I think they did a great job. Ramon Laureano, Ryan O'Hearn, J.P. Sears, even Nasty Nestor. It's going to be great, dude. Mason Miller. We'll see. Yeah, it's a good thing. They did a good job at the deadline. So I heard somebody call AJ Preller like mad scientist or something the other day, or I read that somewhere. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So I think at this point, calling them anything but a contender is nuts. It's nuts.
Right.
I think calling them anything but like an NLCS contending team probably is nuts. I want to see that run differential jump up a little bit. That's the thing. And then with these new trade pieces, I want to see how they perform against teams over 500 with the new chemistry and the new makeup. I don't know what that is going to look like. We don't have enough time yet. So by the time we do this at the beginning of September and we do contenders or pretenders, we will have some data to work with. And that's what I need to wait on. So, but if you ask me today, I think that we're looking at a Padres team that is destined for the NLCS, maybe more, but they have, or I shouldn't say destined, they have what it takes to get to the NLCS on paper. I want to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, I
know I
you're
gave
right.
you 8 teams who could go to the NLCS.
No,
I apologize.
I know, but that's the thing that's crazy is that like you go through these 6 playoff teams in each league, and 8 total probably could go to the championship series. It's wild. It's wide open. And I think you're right with the Padres. Like that's their ceiling, I think. I don't know if they're a World Series contending team. Like I don't know if they can make it because the teams you've got to go through to get there, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to beat the Phillies or the Mets, the Brewers or the like everybody in the National League could go to the World Series. And saying that, I think that's where the World Series comes out of this year. I think the winner is going to be a National League team. I really do, because it's tougher than the American League.
I could
Unless
see it. It is
they
tougher.
beat up on each other and get to the World Series, and then by the time
That's right.
they get there, then the American League is fresh and ready to go. I don't know. We'll see.
That's
But the National League is going to be an
possible.
absolute battle.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you.
But that's Contenders or Pretenders Baseball Family. Let us know what you think. Who are your contenders or pretenders? What are team ceilings? How far do you think they can go? Drop it down in the comments. Shoot us an email at baseballtogetherpod@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review everywhere that you can. If you have not done that on YouTube, go ahead and do it right now. And especially if you're there, it's super easy. And it helps out the show while you're there. But Baseball Family, don't forget to join us on Tuesday when we drop another episode. We will catch you then.